to the channel. If you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button, man. It's OG Drip, man. This channel where we talk about the spiritual truth and how to utilize energy on a day-to-day basis, man. I don't really push the channel too much, but you know what? If people don't push, you got to push yourself sometimes. You know what I'm saying? The best way sometimes is be, you self-promoting. But anyway, let's go ahead and get right into it, man. As y'all can see by the title, man, we got it shouldn't be shocking that we get lied to by the same people that lead us to the straight. Now, I was talking about it a whole long time ago when we were breaking down, the population of people and talking about, how we making so much carbon dioxide and all this there with all the greenhouse gas. It was a whole bunch of confusion, a whole bunch of little fancy words they were throwing around. And this is the reason why I be saying, y'all, this is what makes it important when we start, even to the education system of how we get lied to, right? You go to school and they educate you and tell you to follow this guy, tell you this is what it is. And then so that just will you into so you can understand when they come up with these lies. You get what I'm saying? So it get deep. If you don't use your common sense and you only go by the knowledge that they gave you, you're going to get lost. So now, I know a long time ago, everybody remember Bill Gates talking about, even talking about cows farting is bad for the environment. I'm talking about really went to questioning the whole goddamn point of nature and how things exist. Now, when it comes down to that, it's always like human or science always end up coming to a thing where they feel like they could adjust nature or make nature a little bit better than what it already was or however it was already going. And then as soon as they start doing stuff like that, you start seeing things get formed and don't supposed to be that way. So you get disformed, even if it's a fruit, animals, all this type of stuff that be doing things they don't supposed to do. Or just don't operate right or just don't live as long. Because, at the same time, they love to put things into the air, love to put things places that it don't necessarily belong. So even back down to the vaccine, or however you want to look at it, a whole, something going inside of your body that wasn't in there and you wouldn't have produced it if it wasn't for them creating it. So a lot of times that be unnatural, and we can't wonder why our body be having these certain breakouts or our body be responding different to some of these shots and some of these things that we be going through that we trusted from them. So then later on, they could just turn their back and say, oh, that ain't what that meant, or oh, I was wrong about that. Like, come on, bro, you ain't know the environment anyway. You went to the same type of schooling as everybody else. So the only thing you really did was master somebody else's ideal a little better than the previous person. And now I keep telling y'all, it's like a circle of life thing. Ain't nothing new. These the same people that want to be the first mad scientists and try to confuse people and throw them off. It's the same ordeal. It just done with a different skin on it. So if you don't believe that, I don't know what else to tell you. But anyway, we're going to show the proof of how quick they could pull out with plan about our whole livelihood and just like, oh, we're sorry, it's not this. And then you don't want your whole life thinking that it was this. Y'all don't went to, they done switched the diet into the cows, talking about because the cows eat grass. Y'all remember I was just breaking that down in Kenya of how he was trying to get the cows to eat something completely different. Now it shows itself of how he got all of them talking about this is raising emissions, and it ain't even doing nothing. So we seeing exactly how they lie to our face, how they could switch up on a lie, and we still put them in control to make decisions for us. First of all, the man comes from computers. He wasn't the founder, he was the co-founder. So he wasn't even the main person in charge. So we let him come from computers to start thinking that he could treat our body like a computer, thinking that he could just reprogram our body, add a couple of this on, add a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? So this is what y'all see when y'all see these lab-grown or lab-made things. You know what I'm saying? Even the vaccines. So I don't think people understand that. These diseases themselves always was led back to like a man manipulating it, making it more than what it was. They'll take some actual things and put them together. Like, it always been like that, man. It ain't nothing different. They just come up with a different one because they done mix so many of them together. So now when we get down to stuff like that, can't even say the word. That's how real it is. But they could say it 150 times. Now I'm finna go ahead and show y'all the exact video that should have everybody questioning why we even trust the people that we have in charge. Is they even meant to be trusted? And why do we keep doing it? You know what I'm saying? Over and over. So that's the little part that kills me. It's like, yo, come on, y'all. We got to get it together. Hold up, y'all. We got to get it together, regardless. Now we all finna watch this together. Let's see what's going on with these people. All right. On their own
Billionaire
news, all that.
philanthropist
Look.
Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates is now
My
cautioning
bad.
against taking
Let me
a
flip the camera.
doomsday view on the planet's future. Gates once described climate change as the most urgent challenge humanity has ever faced. In a new essay, he's raising alarm about the immediate impacts of poverty in a warming world. In an interview with CBS News' Norah O'Donnell in 2021, he warned about what will happen if emissions are not reduced.
No, well, here we go.
Would be even worse near the equator, and the unrest, would be global in nature. And sadly, you couldn't just invent a vaccine, so you've got to start work now to avoid those terrible consequences.
Every time he said he lied.
CBS News national environmental correspondent.
Every time he said he lied. And then now let me show y'all another thing. Remember, this is the same guy. I can just go back right here. Y'all say I ain't putting nothing special in. This is the same guy that now is doubling down. And now I'm talking about some, climate change is now something. Look, everybody caught it, right? But that's what I'm saying. Everybody caught it, but we still going to put these guys to be trusted. We still going to trust his word when it come up to things. So you got him and Dr. Fauci, right, telling y'all to put something in y'all body for y'all to become immune to something that they said started off from an animal. Then they switched it and said that it started from China. Then they switched it, and then they kind of keep switching it because they realized, okay, when we said it with the animal, how did all the animals not get it? How come the humans only got it? What's good, JJ? So it already didn't make sense. Now they're doing the same thing. You know why? Because they want to try to make sense out of what they was doing to us. So y'all remember, they went to trying to make us okay with chemtrailing by telling us the environment and ice glaciers and stuff like that is melting. So they put in aluminum, lead, and all this type of stuff in the air in order to protect things. Now let's get to it, because in the real sense of it is called cloud seeding, a weather modification technique that involves introducing particular particles like silver iodine into clouds to encourage the formation of rain or snow. Then when you go look and you just take this right here, silver iodine, let's take the silver iodine out of there. Let's put it right to the side real quick, y'all. Hold on, let me flip it over here real quick for you. Now that's crazy, right? Now let's see. Okay, that ain't bad. They're just spraying a little silver in the air. Just a little silver. Just a little silver in the air. That's all. Ain't nothing gonna do to it. Then they turn around and tell you silver iodine is not considered highly toxic when it is applicated like cloud seeding. Whoa! So they already had a backup stored already for you. So as soon as you thought you could get away from it, they already had it backed up for you to get you again. Now ain't that something? So now when we talk about them talking about these gases, all the emissions and all this, bro, it's just nothing but cool made up words that they could say and describe to you to get you to believe in it, especially because you came through their education system. It's just like their religious system. Why you think so many people is Christians? The most thing that comes to your life is a Christian. You start off from there. And later on, I'm going to break down those Hebrew Israelites too. Because it's funny when y'all could do something and when somebody show y'all exactly what y'all doing, it's a problem. So we already know then we got a lot of mental problems going on when it comes down to religion, that a lot of these people is mentally disturbed and trying to come up with coping mechanisms to get through whatever they couldn't get through or whatever they can't do in life. They're like, oh, no, I wasn't meant to. No, you didn't try hard enough. You probably didn't. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people rely on that, though. Not saying everybody in the world. But anyway, when we get down to it, you got to think about this. Now, when we talk about the cloud seeding, they tell us a lot of bull, but they don't tell you how long it's been around. Right? A lot of people just finding out about it. Now, let's get to it. The practice has a long history. You see this? 1940s, dating way back to the 1940s. So before they even gave us Mars and all of this, we need to start realizing that NASA is a lot to us. That's what I'm talking about. How the politics, NASA is the education system, the religions, the Christianity, Hebrew is like all that bullshit is the religion. Then you got the entertainment, then you got the business, and then you got the politics. So you already know who the politicians is, which is the presidents and stuff. So you already know how the business work. You already know how business work. Business not meant to be equal and be fair. It's only meant for you to come up with an uprise. If you don't have a certain amount of growth throughout it, your business might not last, because you know why? You have economy changes. You have growth where they might start charging more for lot rent or wherever you got your space at. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So that changes. So you already have them playing a certain game that you have to play along with. Otherwise, you're going to get what you get. You get what I'm saying? You're going to get less out of the pie. So you got to know how to play it. You know what I'm saying? So this is the whole matrix. So now, dating back when we talk about 1940s And them talking about supplying water to way other countries of how they, try to make it rainfall by putting these certain things in the way to make it rain in countries or somewhere that suffer from dryness. This just letting y'all know how they try to make environmental science changes on their own. So what do you learn in school? You learn environmental science. So not only do you learn environmental science, you also learn biology. And the way that they teach you biology, the way that they teach you astronomy, and the way that they teach you is astrology is all the ways that in the Bible that it was literally telling you not to do. So if y'all want to go by the Bible, the same damn thing telling you is not to do it these ways. So it's already lost anyway. And then if y'all going to depend on a book versus common sense, look at the world. So if you're going to believe that the people that's publishing these books, allowing them to get published, is on your side for them to publish something that actually means you some good, go on. Go ahead. Watch how many people that follow the same lead that it ain't gonna get y'all nowhere. It don't work nowhere. You get what I'm saying? So it shows it out. Even down to them, they don't work. So they've been lying to us to make us think that these things work. No, these things don't work. They've been manipulating us to make us think some of these things work. They can't go to space. Their spaceship don't work like that. And they can't go to these places. You get what I'm saying? So what they do is talk amongst education to make you only learn about it so much. You got to think everybody, no matter who you is right now, had to come through some form of their education system. They're going to make you study and learn it the way that they did it or the way that they're going to do the things. So when you learned their mathematics, you didn't know that you was in practice for their religion, huh? Did you? Hold on. Let's talk about why the public school system was why it was even created. Because you got to understand, all of this goes in a loop and all of these strings tied together. Well, okay, if I can't get a person to be in one of my religions, I can get them to go by my science and my the way that we teach. You get what I'm saying? If I can't get them to go by that, they're gonna go by this business because you know why? Money make the world go round. No matter which country you in, it got some type of revenue or some type of money that you need to have. Right? So then after that, they turn it around. You can't say these ain't the 5 best ways to take over the world. Putting people against nature, getting them to believe in man. No matter which 5 pillar they take, they believe in man. Whether it's politics, they believe in man. Whether it's education, they believe in man. Whether it's religion, they believe in man. Whether it's entertainment, they believe in man. So anything you put, they believe in man. So the point of it behind it is making you pick. So if you ain't like this one, they had another one already subject and polished for you to fail. So it's the same way that you look at a public school system, right? It's basically already putting you in a route of failure, or will you have to climb or come out a certain way. Now, you got certain things, right? Like construction, where math and all that, precision's cutting, geometry and all that play a role into things. But then you have where it don't play a role into things where you have to use common sense and understand how to match things and understand how to draw out these shapes yourself. So when it comes down to that, this is the reason why they try to take brick mason and try to just say that it's something completely different. No, it's the same thing y'all doing. Instead of them shaping the house, y'all shaping the world with a reality. Now let me give y'all this damn thing about this religion junk, because that's what I was about to get to, of why the school system was created. Because people don't understand, you can just type in this type of stuff, bro, and it'll pop up. And it's like you don't even have to do but so much. And then when you start looking at it, you're like, okay, I get it. So then they always talking about equalizing, getting people to be ones, institutionalizing people and stuff like that. The rise, the industrial of urbanization created a need more. So you got this. You got them talking about wealth as wealthy and creative. Look, you see this? So this ain't talking about you. Americanized. Public schools was created to Americanize the children of growing migrant populations. Do y'all see this? And y'all wondering why so many foreigners, what's going on with this? Man, the school system get deep as I don't know what. Now let me give y'all a person. When you start putting the people behind it, it get even deeper. Watch this. So this is the reason why you got to shadow ban people that understand how things work. Now look, John D. Rockefeller didn't create it, but look, though his, there that word they love to use, like Bill Gates used in order for him to tell us about our life all of a sudden. Organizations, you see that? The General Education Board, he supported rural education, increased funding, but what did he do with it, y'all? I want y'all to pay attention to this. Because at the end of the day, this is the reason why we have this junk. Modern education. You see this? It's talking about rural education, for instance. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about how they put people in India. You know what I'm saying? So they already done showed this. Before they got to America, they seen how this junk was gonna make you calm down, how they could control your mind, but you can't. So they could put you in situations to make you do things out of chaos where you might can't even put yourself in a situation not to do something out of chaos because it was promoted or done to you on purpose. So a lot of these people, dog, they like to do this type of stuff. So don't ask how much they got into the education board. You got to wonder when you know about the Rockefellers, you know about these wealthy groups and societies, and you see how they treat people and stuff, and you start realizing business is business, and the way that you get far into life is doing like a lot of ugly junk. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why they try to promote it like that. And that ain't the way. It's trying to get people to be fooled, man. That's all it is. So when we talk about an education system that was never designed for us to be critical thinkers, that's just what it was. So we're going to put it into purpose. Look, y'all don't think we was meant to be working ants. So I'm going to show y'all something, bro. Because this is the whole point of them educating us the way they do. To create, look. What was the purpose of public school? The purpose of public school is to create an informed civil, whatever that word say, provide social mobility and prepare individuals for both democratic participations in the workforce. Now look at this right here. Look at this right here. So when it get down to critical thinking, how we gonna get into the world? Hold on, y'all. I just had it up here. Let me switch it around real quick. Of how to jump play attention to everything we got going on. That's why a lot of people can't think for themselves. That's why a lot of people is into these religions without even questioning. Well, damn, you ain't thinking it's a secret, a setup that as soon as you was born and the only book that you could get for free. Hell, you can't even get water and food for free, basically, unless you go into a place where they had to be donated. So somebody is giving it away. But hell, you can't even get that for free, but let alone they could give you a book for free. You don't think nothing was wrong with that. And different versions of that book. So if you don't like it this way, the way they said it, they got a different way that they said it. You get what I'm saying? And we're going to go more and deeper to that later on, because when I break down the Hebrew Israelites, of just understanding y'all just born in the Hebrew or y'all just lights from over there, it'll get deeper. So either way, when we talk about the, look, let me show y'all the black education. So the reason why I want to show all this is because when we come back to the top of the board and everybody always asking, why is black people so angry? Why is black people not put in this level? Y'all, it was designed for that. It wasn't even just about black. It wasn't even about colorism. It was about whoever stayed into these environments where you didn't have a certain income. You know why? Because it was a business game. So from the beginning, they knew that it wasn't enough income. Instead of us questioning, damn, how can y'all even apply jobs where a person can't make enough to live off of? No, we let that go by and got caught up into their systems to the point that it looked like we need their systems now. You get what I'm saying? So now when it come at us with our education, we don't know nothing about the planets. We don't know nothing about the sun and the moon unless we ask them. We don't know nothing about the planets outside of this unless we ask them. And then to come to find out, they lied about it. In 1965 was the first time that NASA, out of all the religious groups that were born before them and all the people that came through, said that Mars existed. And this was the second planet that they ever was able to notice besides the sun and the moon. So now when we talk about stuff like that, we got to understand. Thank you for that, Head. But listen, we got to understand how deep these people go in order for them to spread lies. So just like I showed y'all earlier, Bill Gates himself said it was very bad for the environment for us to be, having gas emissions. Now that changed all of a sudden. The environment or the climate is not in a bad position. You know why? Because these people always want to do things, and I already broke it down. They just be wanting excuses to run stuff like this by you. Since the 1940s, they've been experimenting with agriculture, belief, look, water supply. Look, they telling you what they used it at and all. Guess what's funny, y'all? Y'all ain't read the one thing. It said rockets. It said they could use rockets to get them over here. Where is that? It literally says they could use rockets. So y'all be wondering why NASA always doing these space lunches and stuff. Y'all thought it was something else. But no, it's for them to shoot silver iodine, potassium, and dry ice. Liquid propane, which expands into a gas. Do y'all see that? Oh, wow. So they got salts in it. Oh, wow. You see the plane? Okay. You see the factory? Okay. You see how they did it? Okay. It's like they put in clouds. So they're trying to do like Mother Earth. If y'all read the Bible and y'all understood it, I'm not even that lost into it, but it was talking about how Earth had her own seeds, how she's able to produce things, right? Like you see grass. You don't know where grass started from. Like you see a tree, you don't know where that tree started from, but you see how these things go. You can see how it started from later once it got created, just like us. You don't know where we started from. So I used to ask people all the time, which one come first, the chicken or the egg? Obviously, it took the chicken to come first, and the chicken learned how to reproduce. The chicken learned how to create more chickens. It can't be the egg, because if you took an egg or a baby right now, just using straight common sense, it cannot survive without his mother. Without his mother, period, right? Or it needs some type of nutrients. So when it comes down to that, this just showed that it don't even go together. So we look at our education system and got to start wondering sometimes, which one came first? You have to tell us that the two came first, but really it's a one. So it was things that happened before it got here. Just like the sun. The sun is the event before it gets here, before we see it. So that's the reason why we have different time zones, because that event is not happening until it gets to over where your head and over your environment. So this is how deep it goes. So this is the real astrology and the real anatomy about how our body play out and react off of these celestial beings moving above us. So they did their own studies and switched and morphed it on us. They made you stop believing in astrology and believe in astronomy because they could control it and make you westernized by anamorphizing everything, by turning everything to a human. So every star that you heard, you didn't realize it was talking about humans. You realized you thought it was talking about actual humans. Like, you get what I'm saying? You didn't realize it was talking about you, but you thought that this is what it was talking about, as in saying you need to be the human. No, you are the star already. You don't have to try to be this. You're smaller versions of the light that you see above you. So the same way that you see the little light of mine, or however the Christians used to say it, it's the same thing going on. So people are always talking about the light in the dark, or the light coming from the dark, because it takes two. It's not all about just the light. This is the reason why Christians, like I said earlier, get blind, because they're always worried about the light. Just like an insect, just like this light behind me, right? If you stared into that light, or you got closer and closer to that light, all you're going to do is get blind. So when you're understanding where to put the light at and not too close to you, even like when they go to space, it start looking dark. It start to put the light look like it's inside of a ball. So even with our illusion of what we see, it's not even what that is. We have an optic lobe that play things out to making us see these higher and denser things. So the sun is less dense than us, but it's dense enough to be in the same reality of us. So that's the reason why we're trying to break down all these things. It was trying to explain the day. It was trying to explain the morning, aka the Lucifer. It was trying to explain that already. It just didn't give it a name. Like in Genesis, when it was talking about the morning star, it just didn't give it a name. So then when you learn about the morning star, being the second day and all this here, you start realizing, like, damn, okay, now I'm starting to realize that these people is playing a trick on us no matter what, to get us to believe in man, not nature, of things that would have happened, naturally from the growth of it, or the timing of it, or, things like earth deriving from water. So they don't like for you to know things like this. They want to be in control of it. Why do you think as soon as a new land form, they're already taking over? If it's Dubai, if it's Hawaii, some of these things is man-made, but not actually. You get what I'm saying? Some of them, they actually just manipulating what was already there on earth and saying that they made it. You get what I'm saying? So this keeps us from ever owning our own land or our own city, where we don't have to be under the same colonization again. So y'all got to understand, they done played so many of these games that they done did it over and over. It's not the first time with the Americans and all this. Go look at the Babylonian times. Go look at the Greek times. Go look at the Hinduism times. Go look at all these times. You always seen somebody praying down, praising these people that they so-called queens of kings, kings of queens. And these people always donated themselves to try to play the role as our father, giving us our, the father, the son of the father and the daughter, you know what I'm saying, of God, not man. So it's a difference. You know what I'm saying? So the children of God would be, the sun and the moon. But we always got someone where they're trying to play that position, where, the men trying to be the king, aka the sun. So even when people say the king, the Judah and all that, what represent the sun behind everything else is the Leo constellation, which represent the king of the jungle. So when the lion come out, everyone come and stares. So that represents the same light that we have when when someone come out with information or intelligence. So the way that they play this out is teaching you things where you think every piece of light, due to that you don't know it, is the actual light for you. So they created false lights. This is the reason why we have so many Israelite wars and so many light wars versus amongst each other. So this is how they created genocide, or world wars. You get what I'm saying? Where we don't get along with other parts of the world due to this. So the same way they play it out with colors amongst each other just in America, they do the same thing when it comes down to a regional thing with us being racist. You know what I'm saying? They don't want somebody from another race, because they'll give somebody with color. They'll put somebody with color at the bottom, raise somebody without color, and give them everything, and then make them be able to judge the person with color and be like, you ain't doing something right because look how easy it was for me. Then they flip it. They'll have someone come from a foreign land, come to your land and have more than you can ever get in your land. They'll have a motel, hotel, a damn resort, all this type of stuff. And you ain't even finding a way to just own your house. You get what I'm saying? So they be having these things already benefited for them to create collisions. You know what I'm saying? To create chaos. Because once they get their chaos, now they can put things in order to coming out there playing a role like a superhero. So like I always tell y'all, they could rate these things to make everybody clash. And then they come back and be like, hey, we got an ideal for all of us. And then we take the ideal and every time it keep running us into stuff. So even when y'all look at president-elects, it's the same thing. Every time you be like, okay, the Democrats, okay, the Republicans. Then y'all go to arguing amongst each other. Now y'all picking a side in that. So how is this all not the same ideology that game bangers have? Hell, they even broke it down to y'all so bad that they call one side the red side or the blue side. You get what I'm saying? So it's getting to the point that where you have to realize the same thing they'll give you a RICO charge for, they're doing that same shit. They're game banging and they're making, if you're not with them, you're get down and lay down in the straight like that. You get what I'm saying? And us as the people, we're steady pushing up on each other without understanding that these people is creating these psyops. That's why they call them the shadow powers. Because they sit behind the scene throwing a rock and bomb, hitting us and making us angry, and we're attacking each other. Do you get what I'm saying? So now we clashing amongst each other because of a white lie that they told or a narrative that they created in order for us to spiral out of control. Sometimes they let us create the narrative of our own death. You get what I'm saying? So they'll sit there and be like, okay, what people saying about this person? Oh, they saying this about P. Diddy. Let's go ahead and say, yeah, P. Diddy is touching on all these people without permission. The next thing you know, this court getting a section, you don't hear none of that going on. You hear about prostitutes and all this. It's like, damn, hold on. Did y'all say this about R. Kelly and then it switched up? Did y'all say this about Bill Gates? Bill Cosby and it switched up? But when it comes to their leaders and stuff, it hid. When it comes to Epstein, when it comes to all these type of people, you don't know what happened. They don't know what happened. It take them a whole year to put out they videos. But it take them a whole year to put out Young Thug videos. To make a Young Thug crash with everybody that's in his societies. AKA just the people. Y'all getting mixed up. Not black people. The people. The people that want the worker ants, the ones I just showed y'all earlier, how the public education system designed that's for us to be role players, not critical thinkers. You know what I'm saying? And that's deep. Y'all got to understand that we have systems that's created for us to understand their religion and how to work. That's it. It wasn't meant for you to be successful. Period. And that's just how it goes, man. It's fucked up. That's why most of the people in the world is not successful. Y'all ain't never realized that it always been like this, even in kingdom times. Like, it always been someone that had rulership. And it always been a lot of people on the opposite end that didn't have as much wealth, period. Like, period. It always been like this. People just acting like it's new. No, there's nothing new under the sun. And where y'all think all the stuff going? The sun is the highest point. The sun and the moon is at its highest point. You're not going outside of all of that. This is just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they were talking about the firmaments and all that. You're not going nowhere else. There ain't nowhere else to go. So when y'all playing like that, y'all done started creating other planets. It's so deep. How lost people done got into the education system. Where the stuff that you're digging into, and the only way that somebody can tell you you're wrong, let you tell it, is from them. And they're not going to tell you you're wrong because they're the ones talk to you that dumbass way. So it ain't something where you could go out and look up the sky yourself. No, you got to have a telescope to tell you that something is in the air. A telescope to tell you what to see. Scope is a vision of seeing something or marking something with what you see, right? So if you saying a telescope, it's telling you what you see as a mark. So they gave you a thing of, oh, that thing that you see, oh, that's Mars. They ain't tell you that it's a certain glass that's reflected soon as they hit this part due to the magnetic waves or however they like to explain that shit then of why it shows like it shows. So every time people look at that point of access, they don't realize it's one of these little satellites that they didn't program to make it look like that. Just like the AI, just like a phone. I don't get how people don't think like that. Like a phone right now, I'm talking to y'all through a screen, but the whole world can see it. Y'all don't get it? Y'all don't get it? It's just like a telescope. It's not really there, but the whole world can see it. So it's really there. You get what I'm saying? So although I'm not here with y'all, I'm still here with y'all. Do you get it? Like, I might not be physically here with y'all, but I'm a light version of being here with y'all. So this is the way that they play things. They create light spectrums to confuse you and blind you by light. Because they know when they use dark powers, people get scared of the dark. You know what I'm saying? This is when fear mongering come up. This is when people want to talk about mermaids and all this shit that don't exist. But yet the only time it exists is that the government know. Like, how the hell that is the government know more invasion than y'all, but y'all ain't witnessing? So y'all believe it? Or y'all want to know that they probably the ones creating the invasions or creating the aliens that they saying that's out there. Like the human mind, the way that it's done got, it's because they did it on purpose. When they gave you shapes and all this and told you it was just shapes, it don't mean nothing. No, that was the rituals they was hitting you with. You know what I'm saying? That was spellbinding you right then and there from the very beginning. When you first got to school, you had to go to a head start. So they started right in your head. And you didn't understand. The head is the beginning. So when they started putting that in there, that is how they created the seed. They planted the seed until they hit the round to the what? To the bottom, the root chakra. So they plant a seed all the way until you're going to start using it, not just for a mental thought, but for a thing to be stable as well. So the same way they did with education, the same way they did religion. This is a seed that was planted in these people when they were younger, and the older they got, or the more they kept watering that plant, the bigger that plant got. So it's more harder to get to them. It's harder to try to unlock them. They're in that wicked jungle. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're trapped in a corner maze of their own kind. So when we look at the mind and we look at the brain and we start to look like the brain is shaped like a tree, you got to be careful what water, what esoteric things you paying attention to, because this is how you water your plant. You get what I'm saying? So esoterically, you don't want to be watering your plants with a whole bunch of fucked up water that's toxic. You get what I'm saying? Because now your whole brain operation gonna be toxic. So just like I was finna say later on with the religious people, they don't see it as toxic, but they're just like gangbangers. And I was finna get to that. So if you're not on their side, they don't like you. If you're not a Christian, they're gonna tell you your life's not right. You need to become a Christian. Muslims, if you're not a Muslim, they're gonna tell you, boy, you shouldn't become a Muslim, boy, this is the right side. Everybody always trying to tell you something you're not right. I'm gonna tell you all this from right here, and I'm from Florida, right? Even the gang banging here, right? They got Bloods, Crips, do the same thing, all that, right? When you come here or you're from out of state, outside of California, they say you ain't gang banging right. No matter how much time you said you was a Blood, no matter how many times you said you was a Crip, no matter none of that, they tell you ain't banging right. So then the police play games on a bigger scale and tell y'all not gang banging right. I thought you were supposed to X out this guy if he did this and did that. But it's really getting y'all to set up each other and just kill each other out. So y'all wondering why the crime and stuff in a black neighborhood is higher, but the only time the police is worried about is stopping people for drugs and giving them a ticket. Don't even make sense. It's not trying to solve the actual crime. It's just actually just using this shit as a project to like get your training off. Like, let's go harass these people, because these are the type of people. When you see these people, even if you go across the world, this is what it look like as a drug dealer. This is what it look like as this and that. There. So they teach them stereotypes of how to prejudge you before even arresting you or anything like that. So we live in a world where everything is already set up like a plot in a play. If you don't realize that it was a play the whole time, you're lost. If you actually believe that actually happened to the president or to somebody that got this much power or anything like that, without you knowing that they all plant this behind closed doors, you're lost. And that's what it done came down to. It don't even matter about religion no more. I hope y'all starting to realize that. People not really tending their energy to that. They'd rather not deal with it. Because you know why? What is it going to help you with today? Hell, even if I just talk about a whole bunch of Native American history, how some people want to hit, what is it going to teach people nowadays? They're already using the methods. They just don't know they're using them. You get what I'm saying? They're already using the clothes. They just don't know that's the clothes. They just don't understand that's how it's going. So, you know, I would have the days so you could see that these motherfuckers don't know how to create nothing on their own. And it's always been like that. So it's always been a thing where they have to come and take over and manipulate it in order to force it. They put years of their time into this shit to force it to work away. You get what I'm saying? So the Templar Knights with bringing the cross and all that there, y'all, it get deep. Because y'all don't realize the same things that they was to get to this position today as Freemasons, they'll sit there and ask you how Freemasons is evil. Because then you'll be like, what the fuck? No, they evil because y'all ruling the world. Y'all dictating how the world go, period. So if you already doing that, you in control of millions of people, free will, no matter what. So what comes behind that is, due to you set the world with certain principles and morals, you already got it set up so certain people could fail. How the fuck is that not evil? You get what I'm saying? That's more evil than anything. And then y'all steal people's stuff and copy over them. And then if people don't agree with you, you kill them and get rid of them. Even if you don't physically kill them, even if you just kill them, aka what they do to me, shadow ban. So kill their whole presence from the internet. It don't matter. Y'all seen what happened to Young Pharaoh. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? When people do be on their hat or like that, they do end up playing with them views. You know what I'm saying? That's why I be telling y'all, anybody that got more than 200K, I don't even really believe they spiritualist. The video came from 5 years ago. Because we say stuff that's so, you know, on point and make you think. Like, they don't want that to be around. You know why? Because when you know how to make things simple and not complex, The whole point of reacting with your brain is making things complexity. So then if you don't know, let us explain it to you. And then there it goes. They walk your ass until, you know how they used to say, someone talking you to sleep? That's basically what they're doing. They're talking you back into your sleep and slumber. As soon as you thought you was woke, here go a Christian. Nah, it says right here, the black people, we more important than anybody. Then how the fuck is we the worst crowd right now? Even if you take away the other crowds, right? Not on no Uncle Tom shit. We can't even barely get along with each other. So when you're trying to do a crowd thing, you already picking a side. Why we got to be better than the other kind? You know what I'm saying? We understand what kind took over. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of us got our own ways. But the way that y'all put it is black people here. Black people there. Nigga, it was black people overall. It was black people in America and in Africa. So why y'all choosing between them? How is the same thing? So this is the reason why y'all identify and got categorized as just African American as soon as your skin dark. Not Native American or you know the word America is made up, but just saying you're not native to the lands that we in right now as the U.S. So this is what we identifying it as. Same thing with the Israelites. That's not what it was called before y'all went to call them Israelites. So that's like ourselves calling ourselves Americanos. It wasn't called America before the colonization. So you're actually calling yourself a colonized unit after the colonization. So you can't explain it in that way. So even right now, even if it comes down to tribalism, we have to keep this shit at a part. So even if I'm talking about tribalism of America, at least it makes more sense than me being born in America and saying I'm from a tribe that's wailing Israel. It has nothing to do with me. So this lets you know that we have people in America, born in America, and not from America. They're foreigners with their own ideology. So this is the reason why they are so racist. And then they put up the color spectrum, the colorism. That's all that is. Because you have tones and different shades of people in each different country. So what y'all don't realize is we all live in a country after 300, 400 years of the motherfuckers just breeding all the time. Just breeding, crossbreeding, and all this. So now, then when you go look at the blood test, it's already set up. It's not set up with a thing called Native American bloodline. No, it's going to fall off with all this other shit that has nothing to do with you. Back again, where they want to put it and they can name it again because they have the control over the school system. So no matter what you say, after you die off, they can put it in the school system and educate people to say it the same way that you died for. That's simple. That's simple. You know why? You don't live past 200. But these school systems and the systems, how they run a thing, like the Constitution and all that, been running for about 200, 300 years. Now, do you get it? So you can't compete with them as an agent. You know why? Because that's the reason why they took away your culture. The reason why you don't know who your great-great-grandma will ever be. But they know who their great-great-grandma is. Mind y'all, the Rothschilds family been keeping up with their family since 1760. They know who their grandparents is from 1760s. So these rich, super superior people is keeping up with their shit. Why they took your shit and brainwashed you? Washing who? They took you so bad, they took your brain and just did like this. And then gave it all shit that don't make sense. So even when you look at them trying to control the earth, that don't even make sense. They have to double back on everything they just said. It don't even make sense. They'll be like, okay, climate change, we need to hurry up and do something about the climate. Then later on tell you, oh, climate change ain't all that bad. I don't know why we was trying to change the climate. Did you the one that just said the population increase? So the best way to get rid of the population, to get the population to decrease, is more health care and vaccinations? That guy? I can't put it up because y'all know they take my video every time I do that. He could say it on a YouTube video, but if I take the YouTube video and put it up, they don't hit me for copyright. I'll pay them. No, they take the whole video. So that, but free speech. They lied to you about that. Yeah, free speech, all right. The free speech of a Mason, the Freemason speech. So the only way you know how to talk is like a Freemason, because this is what is taught. That was taught to us. We don't got the native tongue no more. We have to turn and bend our tongues to make their words. You get what I'm saying? So when it comes out of that, that's how it goes. To the point that if you hear somebody not using a lot of their words, you'll think they're not educated. Just because a person don't have a high vocabulary to try to sound like a nerd or a scientist or someone like that. That ain't their MO. That ain't what they're trying to do. They're trying to get to a simple point in you and just show you how simple it is. So no matter how smart you think or how you go along with all this, you don't realize you was in a world where it wasn't meant for you to win. It was meant for you to play the game. You didn't think you was a Monopoly. You didn't think quotes like life is a game. You win some, you lose some. You know what I'm saying? Wins and losses. You ain't think none of this was part of the game. You ain't think that, right? But even though the comment said, bro, you could win and lose with your emotions without even involving other stuff. You can be happy and sad. Like it was meant. It wasn't meant for you to be happy all the time. It wasn't meant for you to be sad or depressed all the time. Because you know what happens when you sad, depressed all the time? This puts you in the dark. When you happy and all this all the time, you're too gullible. So anybody could trick you and fool you. When you're in the dark all the time, you don't trust nobody, even if they trustworthy as hell. So you see what it is? Y'all make people lack moderation of their mind on purpose. So a person is technically polarized, no matter which side they pick. Even when it comes down to race, you either black-sided or you either white-sided. You get what I'm saying? It's like crazy because now this is how we keep clashing. We like, damn, what's going on? This is the reason why it's lasting so many years. Because y'all allowing it to. You don't understand this is how the game been getting played. Go back and look. They've been set repping before the game banging. How y'all thought game banging came around? Y'all thought it was y'all in the 1700s. I meant the 1960s and 1970s. Oh, y'all thought it was y'all. Man, they had castles booming other castles. Y'all forgot about that? When they had ships battling other ships, they came up with the Pirates of the Caribbean. They're letting you know we was battling on the water trying to take over your land. We was coming together, forming some type of restraint to come together, to come on your land. They used so much of evil tactics against each other, they got together and said they're going to use against others because there's no way they could get up out of this. And this is the reason why they work like that now. To where you'll have an average person right now come here and just be like, what you talking about? Nigga, engage. Just listen. The world. What is it not to talk about? We could aim at any angle just to show you at the end of the day, all I'm talking about is how the world is fucked up, but it don't supposed to be. How man is making the world fucked up. It ain't animals. It ain't God. It ain't the atmosphere. It ain't none of that shit. That ain't the Great Spirit. AKA, you know what I'm saying? It's just humans being humans. Trying to control other humans. Put them in the same ideology as them. So no matter if they don't look like them and look like they're doing what they're doing the same thing. Even down to the religions, they all got the same ideology. They don't think they're doing the same thing. That's all it is. They don't think they're doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing though. Just one on praying to this God, one on just praying to that God. But y'all all praying, right? Y'all all giving up y'all energy to an extra being that's outside of y'all, right? An extraterrestrial, where y'all want to put it. So then they create things called extraterrestrials that they're the only ones got any idea of what's going on with. Back again, got you again. No matter what you did, you had to come back to them for you to understand what was going on. You had to come back to the same people that put you in the trap and like, how I get out of the trap? Hey, why you put me in a trap? You know why they put you in a trap. They put it all in the same damn trap, the whole same cube, the same square. And then told you to put the squares on top of each other, play Tetris with each other's minds. You get what I'm saying? And try to see which ones go together and collect and make a little points. They get points for that. They connect together. Because they're supposed to be connected because we made them not connect. Because we all know that all humans are supposed to be connected. But if they lose their self-consciousness and don't understand how they connected to the previous life or the people that they seeing now, they'll never understand it. So y'all get people to move whole countries. You know what I'm saying? They don't even understand why they can't find a connection with the country they're in all the way till their body start disintegrating earlier than what it would have. So they just show us. And once again, y'all, what that lady at? Because she just killed him. Like he really just sat up there and really had to backtrack on what he said. Let's get it. So y'all believe the fossil fuel still?
The National News Desk, America's News Now.
All right, Matt, thank you very much. Developing this morning, a new controversy erupting on the far left. One of the most vocal climate change activists now says we need to forget focusing on green energy and stop investing in expensive and questionable efforts for, quote, zero carbon emissions. In an essay, billionaire Bill Gates argues climate change is not going to wipe out humanity and says all the money that was spent to try and get rid of fossil fuels has essentially been wasted. Instead, he says that money could go toward fighting world hunger and preventing life-threatening diseases.
No, y'all just done seen that the people is starting to talk and starting to wake the fuck up, so y'all trying to put them back in the square. Y'all just lied to us and told the truth at the same damn time. Did y'all just hear that shit? So they just told you, hey, all that stuff we had y'all paying y'all money for, taxpayers and all this, and telling y'all the gas prices were $5 from 5 years ago, it was all a lie. So they're telling now on themselves that they just make up numbers, that they just play with the numbers because they can. So now they don't play with our food, don't play with our all that, bro, just because they can. I don't get how people keep thinking this stuff is real. This shit is fake. And then you get into the thing, right, where somebody's educated into the politics and the education system. No, the field is crashing because the economy says we got to pay for. Bitch, that's what they told you, dumbass. All that you talking about with the economy and numbers and all that, them numbers you getting off their programs and stuff. Have you not realized that? That's their numerology. That's their gematria. So you don't understand that's how you getting played with? So my bad, bro. But either way, this is what we talking about. That money that we could use for food, for fighting hunger. Oh, now money got something to do with hunger. What happened with the cows and just how much food we got in general? Oh, here they go telling themselves on themselves again. So instead of them just lowering food price, they'll tell you nah, or just figuring out a different way to do it, because it really, people should be limited, because some people is greedy based off of what they could get and attain. They'll eat it all the same goddamn day or whatever. But at the same time, y'all see what I'm talking about? The man got to fucking double down and then get reverse psychology on his damn self.
Caused a firestorm on social media. A post from one user that's gone viral states, "This is a huge victory. Bill Gates and the climate change alarmists are finally admitting humans will be just fine. Truth tellers were demonized for years for saying the extremism was unwarranted."
My video got took down, YouTube. My video got took down. Why y'all do me like that? And I didn't even say nothing. I let him say that the population of the people and the carbon and all this out here, if you do a great job at vaccines and healthcare, that it will drop. I didn't even say it. I let him say it off of the real talk or the TED talk or whatever it's called. I didn't even say nothing, y'all. But we get controlled so much when we just out here just telling the truth, simply as it is. Like, yo, we got lied to. All of it. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. Yeah, even if it's the truth, it's all a lie in the behind of it. The whole thing is the beginning. It was a lie. It never was here to support you. No matter what system it was, even America itself never was for you. It said the land of the free. Why y'all didn't think they ever finished the slogan? The land of the Freemasons. It was for you to figure it out once you got your ass here. That's it. You go look at our branches, is all owned by Israel, owned by Jews, owned by motherfuckers that ain't got nothing to do with America. America is looked at as a land, a project where everybody could come and get along. Project America. You get what I'm saying? Where they could all come and they all meet up with and come up with different ways of how they want to do things. And America was offering a beautiful land. So, of course, they're not going to just use it for that. You know what I'm saying? It was offering these beaches, how things cut off, the tropics, in one area, the dryland, the wasteland, the snowlands. It had all the lands of the, of the world into one, right here into the United States. So when they look at it from that, they look at it from an economic perspective. Why y'all think they teach y'all economy in some type of way all the fucking time? Because they're looking at the actual economy. They're actually looking at the economy without them using numbers and shit. So they're looking at how the tropics in Florida is, how the drylands in Texas and Mexico connect. They looking at how Canada with the higher mountains and all that shit. They looking at that shit. And they see the difference of the life is. They see a piece of New Zealand just looking in America. They see a piece of Europe looking in America. They see a piece of every single continent just within just America itself. So the way that they use it is like, okay, this is where we all going to unite at. This is how we taking over. The Spain, y'all can have Southern and all that stuff. So now when you go here, what you have to face? I work at a bakery. You can't tell me. You're going to have the French bread. You're going to have the Puerto Rican bread. And you're going to have the Italian bread. Whether you go to Walmart, whether you go to Publix, whether you go to Winn-Dixie, whether you go to Food Depot, no matter which one of these places you go, these are going to be the main three dough bread that you see, even sweet bread, right? So when you got these three breads, the French, the Italian, and the, which one I forgot? The French, the Italian, the funny part about them, you notice how close they is? That's even made with the same bread, though. Just one of them stretched and cut and slit, and one of them just coming across. So y'all might not understand that. Some people are like, I don't like Italian bread. I like French bread. Nigga, it's the same dough. It's cooked the same exact way. So you see how they already got your ass to pick a side, but it's the same thing. So instead of you like a long bread, you like short, fat bread where you can have more room to put your stuff on. Some people like a longer bread so they can seem like they got more to eat from. Certain like that. So they getting you to pick a shoe and they already gave it to you. They already gave you a Jordan and a Shaq and told you to pick from these shoes. You never had the idea to be a different type of thinker, critical thinker, and be like, yeah, why do I even have to pick these shoes? Why do I even have to pick a religion? Why do I even have to pick a politic? Why do I even have to pick an education board that's more right than wrong? Why do I even have to pick a business? You get what I'm saying? Where you can run one business. Why I can't run multiple businesses out of my one? They start doing things where they start cutting that back. Like I told y'all about buying land. You might buy land and think you could run a warehouse just because you own your land. That's not how it works. You get what I'm saying? They got land restrictions. And they try to play that with Mother Earth and then try to play against it at the same time. Because they'll tell you about the wetlands if you want to know about them. They'll tell you straight up, it's going to sink. It ain't nothing we can do about it. Right? Then you can build it so many different ways and over time or try to, cut it back or manipulate it as long as you can. But at a point, it's going to get there. Right? So we have all of this, y'all. Just to show us is knowledge is power, right? But what happens when you give people knowledge that's not knowledgeable, that can't be used? So there's just a person that think they powerful and they ain't powerful at all. It don't play out nowhere else except in their head. But anyways, y'all, I'm out, man. OG Drip. I got to go in on these Hebrew Israelites in a little bit.